What's going on, guys? It's been a little bit since I did the last video, and I'm really trying to get back into this. I know I was supposed to do a French Open review. Actually, I wasn't supposed to. Will was, but he didn't. But I think there are enough reviews that were going on, and I really appreciate the love and the views on the men's final preview. You know, kind of held true. I was excited about it. So I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. This video is actually on, as it is entitled, Is Roger Federer in Decline? Now, questions have been brewing. Is he in decline? Is he losing his mojo? I respect Roger's game. I'm not the biggest fan. I'm more of a Rafa fan. But I do respect his game because he has done something incredible in the game, and you can't diminish that. You can't beat that. You can't. He is good. Even if you don't like that man. But anyway, most recently he lost his 23 match streak, I think it was, at Halle, Germany, the grass court tune-up that he usually goes to prior to Wimbledon to prep himself. I think he had 6 titles there, or was going for 6. I'm not too sure. I can't remember. But, pretty much dominant down there. And here he was, 17-8 against Leighton Hewitt. Actually, 15 in a row since after 2003. It's kind of like deep. So, the odds that Federer was going to lose to Leighton was kind of odd, very, very, very slim. But, kudos to Hewitt for coming out and playing what I believe was a good match. And I didn't get to see it. I was at church, but heard it was good. The highlights showed that too. Do I believe Roger's in decline? It's kind of hard to say. This year really has been tough for Roger. 27-8 on the year. 1 title going into Wimbledon. 1 title. And that was only the Australian Open. He lost the #1 ranking. Didn't get to defend. Didn't even get to the final of the French. His win streak, his streak rather, of reaching the semifinals or better at a Grand Slam was snapped by Robin Soderling at the French Open. I think it was over 20 some odd times. I might be wrong. I have to look that one up. But it was an incredible streak, to know that you're going into a Grand Slam almost guaranteed to be in the Final Four, is amazing. So that was, all these streaks that are being broken lately, and it's kind of like, wow, To his credit, though, Roger still goes out there and he competes and he plays and he holds his head high, and that's admirable. But let's go back to this match. Hewitt, they're 17-8 now. They're 17-8. 15 straight losses. 5 of those 15 went 4 sets. None went 5. Everything else was pretty much straight sets for Roger. They even played in Australia, I believe, this year. Yeah. And that was like 6-2, 6-3, 6-4. I'm going off my head with that one, but I believe, that happened this year. I think it was in the 4th round. 3rd round, 4th round. I can't remember. But anyway, Fed won that. On grass, Hewitt has only beaten Fed prior to this match 1 time, and that was in 2001 at the Netherlands. That was a 6-4, 6-2 encounter. That's before Federer kind of came into Federer. So, kind of a lot. You really can't count that one. You count it, but you also gotta think he didn't beat Federer when he was killing it on grass. So now it's 3-2 on grass. They actually played Wimbledon, I believe, the year before last, 2008. So, you know. The last win that Hewitt had against Roger was the Davis Cup semifinal, where he took him out in 5 sets. I think it was down in Australia. Yeah, 5-7, 2-6, 7-6, 7-5, 6-1. So Hewitt actually, with 8 wins against Federer now, you know, he's beaten him before. You know, he knows what it takes to beat Fed. He just hasn't been there. And credit to Federer, he's played, you know, phenomenal. Really raised the level of his game playing Hewitt. And really, you know, people think mentally, you know, 15 straight losses, you go into a match thinking, I'm just glad to be here. I'm just glad to be in the final. But Hewitt went out there and played, you know, one hell of a match. And he took it tight in the third, and won it. I'm not too sure what happened in the tiebreak, if Federer had a chance to close out in straights. I'm sure he probably did. But he doesn't have that thing he had where he could just, you know, close out matches. Now people are going in with belief that they can beat him, and they're doing it. So to go on the year, you know, 27-8, he was 10-4 on clay, 13-3 on hard courts, 4-1 on grass. It's not too bad of a record for your regular player, but for Federer, you know, former number 1, a guy that used to lose at most 5 matches in a year, 6, you know, to have already lost 8, and we're not even halfway through, is a little bit, you know, shaky. You know, he lost to Davydenko in the 4-4 in the quarter. Exxon Mobil Open at the beginning of the year. He then won Australian Open. He beat Murray in straights, his only title this year. He went to Indian Wells after and lost in the 3rd round against Baghdadis. Miami lost to Birch in the 4th. I saw that match. You know, then he even went to Estoril, you know, a low, you know, clay court, just to tune up. A tournament that he shouldn't have lost. You know, nobody was playing there. I mean, you have your clay courters that are trying to get a title and get that game together, but nobody that, you know, threatened Roger, because he's not that bad of a clay court player. But he lost to Albert Montanes in the semis. The Italian Open, he lost to Gobis in the 2nd round. He had a bye in the 1st. And then, of course, he lost, you know, to Rafa in the Madrid final. And the infamous quarterfinal loss to Robin Soderling at the French Open, snapping his streak of I don't know how many semis. So, to answer the question, it looks like Roger Federer just doesn't have the game that he used to, but it's there. It's just not being played. Do I feel that he can dominate someone like Nadal? No, because he's never really been able to. Rafa presents challenges that, you know, no one else can to Roger. But Roger really has, it's a mental game, and he has really let the mental aspect slip. And do I feel he's in a decline at the moment? Yes. Will he, you know, drop out of top 5? No. Will he win more Grand Slams? Most likely. He just has to believe in himself. I would love to see a Rafa and Roger final at the Wimbledon, but the way Roger's playing right now is kind of iffy. But I do believe that it will happen. That you have to stay tuned to my Wimbledon draw that hopefully I will be doing next Saturday. But I thank you guys for watching. I don't believe Roger is in decline. He's just in a unstable position right now. And comment, rate, let me know what you think. Alright? Thanks. Peace out. And we'll do your video. Thank you.